So, with Cataclysm coming to an end within the next 2 months, when Mist of Pandaria comes out on September 25th, I thought I'd relay my progress through this expansion and talk about how I felt about it. So, basically, I started playing I've been playing since the beginning of Cataclysm, sorry, and I started on the Thrall server here, which I've transferred most of my characters off, but I still have a few which I rated every now and then on. My druid got back into raiding in the last tier, and we did pretty well. We only raided 1 day a week and got several heroics down in our time. Eventually we stopped when Diablo 3 came out because more people were interested in that. I've raided on my Death Knight here in my friend's guild, Reservoir Dogs. They completed 7 regular, and I believe now they are still raiding and doing quite well. This is a rogue. These are just some characters that I had left over here. And they are all 85. I've releveled most of them on my other server, which we'll see here in a second. And this is a name saver. So this is my other server, Blackrock, that I transferred to raid. And since I've been over here, we've cleared all of Firelands on heroic, getting the mounts, and I believe we only killed Ragnaros once before the final patch came out, but that's no big deal. It's fine. It's for the nerf. This is my paladin, which I have played ever since the beginning of Wrath of the Lich King. He is 7/7 heroic in Dragon Soul and has almost all best in slot gear, minus maybe a ring and a trinket. And these are some other characters which I've rated on. This is my hunter, who is also 85, and then I just have my other characters which I leveled up in free time. So they're not much of a big deal, but most of them are 85, except for my Death Knight here, which is going to be a Herald tune. We are currently working on that, hoping we complete it before the expansion, but there are several people who are behind, so who knows, but we'll see. Anyways, about the expansion. Overall, I think that Cataclysm was a decent expansion. Could have certainly been better, but due to the easiness of Tier 12 and Tier 13, it kind of killed it, making it possible for a lot of people who shouldn't be able to do things, do them, which is a good business standpoint on Blizzard's part, but I think for players who are looking for a more hardcore experience, felt a tad bit cheated out of it. Granted, my guild probably would not have gotten Ragnaros on heroic down in Firelands without that first nerf, not the second one where they removed the mechanics in Phase 4, but for the most part I don't think that we could have. So I suppose it benefited me. Dragon Soul was a hilarious mistake. Overall, the instance was quite terrible, and I don't think that it could have been really any better unless they had redesigned the entire expansion. It is what it is, and really none of the fights in there were very entertaining at all. Maybe Spine, but that's just my opinion. Madness definitely was a letdown. They could have done something much better with Deathwing for the final fight. But overall, I would probably give this expansion, because of the final tier, a 6 out of 10. I think that a lot of people dish Wrath of the Lich King for all the wrong reasons. It is and was a very good expansion in most sense. Now, granted, they didn't have Raid Finder, but that's what Tin Mans were for the casuals. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that casuals are bad, but you know, you definitely know that Tin Mans were easier, way easier in Wrath of the Lich King, and they still are easier now. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because I raid in a Tin Man guild, and I have always raided in a Tin Man guild, and I do not mind them. But that's my opinions on this expansion, and obviously there was not very many, but I would have to say my favorite part of this expansion would have been Tier 11 and when Cataclysm first came out, because things were quite challenging and fun to do, and it was great relearning your classes. And I'm looking forward to Mist of Pandaria, and I can't wait to see what that has to offer. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to raid in Mist of Pandaria, so I will be a casual player in the raid finder. That's no big deal. It'll be fun. Anyways, thanks for listening. If you listened all the way through this, I appreciate it, and have a good evening or day. Goodbye.